Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about the legal issues in relation to commercial contracts. Coming on to legal issues in relation to commercial contracts. What are those legal issues? So first for that we need to understand and analyze the documentation that can compromise or that could comprise of a commercial agreement for the supply of goods or services. For example, invitation to tender should be there, request for quotations, specifications, KPI, which is key performance indicators, and performance management frameworks. Along with that, we should also have the contractual terms, pricing and other schedules involved in the commercial contracts and the contract variations. For that, we should analyze what are the legal issues that relate to the creation of the commercial agreements with customers and suppliers. What are those? The basic rules of the contract formation. Then the rules relating to the offer and the acceptance, the considerations, the intention to create the legal relation, and the capacity to contract. All those are the legal issues to be taken care. Then the battle of the forms and the precedence of contract terms. Risk presented by the contracting on suppliers' terms on rough oral contracts, as well as the Vienna Convention on the contracts for the international sale of goods, including misrepresentations made for pre-contract award. All those are the legal issues which during a commercial agreement and between a customer and the supplier should be taken care. Then compare the types of contractual agreements made between customer and supplier. What are those types of contractual agreement? These contractual agreements can be one-off purchase, framework arrangement and agreement, use of mini competitions, call-offs, service contracts, contract for hiring and leasing of assets. To introduce with, it's a significant element of procurement and supply function, which is based around the contracting process. To be successful, contracts must be clearly defined, which contains the key terms and conditions, as all takes into account the legal frameworks within which they sit. They also accommodate the reality of the business environment, which means that within limits there must be the degree of flexibility allowed between the supplier and the customer's agreement. Coming on to invitation to tenders or request for quotation. So for that, we should clearly understand the difference between estimate, quotations, and tender. In law, when considering the contractual process, there is no difference between quotation and tender. For now, just be aware of an estimate has no legal standing. It's merely a supplier's best possible guess of what supply might cost. That is what is estimate, which supplier thinks what it can cost. That's the best alternative he thinks for. In the commercial contract, estimates should be avoided. As well as tender. Tender and a quotation, sometimes quotes, are essentially the same thing. They are both a firm offers to do something for a quoted price or at the quoted rates, although a tender will be more comprehensive and detailed. So the quotations at which the suppliers are ready to supply you the material and enter into the contract. That's what is a quotation. Coming on to quotations in detail, it's normally used when the only variable is price. The process for arriving at the quotation will often be simple, perhaps even informal, but generally it will involve a buyer describing precise terms what they wish to buy and a supplier offering a price at which they are willing to supply it. The terms and conditions are often not specified in request for quotations, which can lead to the infamous battle of the forms. Quotation should only be used in any of the following situations. Coming on to tender. Tender is normally used when there is a potentially more than one variable. There is not always the case. Tenders can be used where everything rather than price is already logged down. But this is becoming less and less common. The process leading to the tender is quite formal. That's what when the tenders are always used when it's other than price, every other elements are logged. Then tenders are used to bargain at the prices. Request for quotations. Request for quotations, which is also called as RFQ, are often misused, where a purchaser simply asks for a price without adequately determining the contract terms and the specifications. However, they do have a valuable functions when their use is properly controlled. They work well under the framework agreements, where the contract terms are already fixed. Thank you.